Karen with Brilliant Travelers. Today we're going to be doing a ship tour of the Oceania Nautica. We sailed on the Nautica. This was our first sailing with Oceania. Earlier this year, we sailed out of Miami. It is a beautiful, compact, luxury ship. Can't wait to show it to you. Be sure to stick around to the end because we've got some really interesting information about what's going to happen to the Nautica in 2027. So let's get started.
Well, Nautica is 26 years old. The refurbishment that happened in 2022 is looking fantastic. And at 670 passengers, this is a perfect mid-sized ship. We're starting on deck 4 in the concierge area. You can follow along on the deck plan where the red dot moves. That's where we are on the ship. So this is where you're going to access the gangway when you are in port, and that is right next to the reception desk. Across from that is the grand staircase. Absolutely beautiful place to take photos. Next to the reception desk on the other side, we have the trivia or games area. So lots of options here. We're going to go over that in our next video on tips and tricks and earning big O points. And finally, we have the destination services desk here on deck 4. Moving on to deck 5, we'll start in the aft of the ship in the grand dining room. As you enter, you're going to find baristas on your left. This is the specialty coffee bar where you can also get small sandwiches and pastries whenever they are open. The main dining area is classic and elegant without feeling dated. The entire edge is lined with tables for 2 with window views, so we were able to get that each time we dine there. Larger tables are towards the center. The tables are all set with beautiful custom Versace china that screamed to be taken home in my luggage, but I did resist. We're moving forward from the dining room. Here you enter the upper hall. In the center is the dazzling chandelier over the grand staircase that we saw on deck 4. Here you'll also find one of the most important desks on the ship. This is the restaurant reservation desk, where you can check for openings for additional nights in the specialty restaurant. There's some comfortable seating for relaxing and listening to the duet that often plays in this area. And then moving forward, we have shops. We have a jewelry shop as well as the shop with the Oceania branded items, other clothing, and any necessities you might run out of. Now we come to Doug's favorite spot on the ship, the martini bar. They do have a full menu of martinis as well as a regular full bar. This was the place to be after the shows in the evening. They not only had a piano player who was entertaining, but he would also host trivia earlier in the evening. Next to the martini bar is the casino, which is something that isn't often on a ship of this size. While it wasn't huge, it had all of the most popular games. It had slots, blackjack, poker, and roulette. Here's an extra tip. Pay attention to the artwork on the ship. There's a Find the Artwork contest that earns big O points that you can cash in for exclusive Oceania merchandise at the end of your sailing. We're already to the front of the ship and the Nautica Lounge. During the day, this is where trivia and other games are held. This is also where they had the absolutely fantastic destination lectures. The speaker was a historian who really prepared us to understand what we were going to be seeing in each port. We wanted to point out another thoughtful extra that we found here. This is so Oceania. They have chilled, flat, and sparkling water here in the back of the room, so you don't have to go all the way to the buffet every time you want a drink of water. In addition, they do have a full bar in here, and they have waiter service during the evening shows. And speaking of those shows, they punched way above their weight. They had 4 singers, 2 dancers, and they used this space, which wasn't huge, to create some really exciting shows. They also had 2 comedy shows during our 7-day sailing. The theater holds about half the number of passengers that there are on the ship. But this really didn't seem to be a problem. We never saw people having to stand for any of the evening shows, so it seems to fit just the right amount of people who want to attend the shows. To finish deck 5, let's go out to the Promenade deck. It's not a true promenade deck in that you can't walk all the way around the ship, but it is a really nice outdoor space. It's got their signature cushy loungers, and they're in the shade here under the lifeboats. It's just a more quiet place to be outside. Now let's head up to deck 9 and start with the Terrace Cafe at the aft of the ship. This is the buffet, but it is definitely upgraded. Not only is there bar service, there is table service for all of your drinks. You fill your plate like you do at any buffet, but then when you get to your table, they have placemats, silverware, and glasses already there for you. And there's no need to go to a drink station for water, tea, coffee, any of those that are included. They will bring those to your table for you. There is a pizza station. In the morning, there is an omelet station. And during lunch and dinner, they also have a very nice carving station. There's plenty of outdoor seating with umbrellas for shade and an absolutely beautiful aft view. As I mentioned earlier, all non-alcoholic drinks are included on Oceania. This includes tea, lemonade, coffee, including specialty coffees, sparkling water, and soda. One final note on the buffet, we never had to wait in line. This is another plus of a smaller ship. Walking forward from the Terrace Cafe, you come to Waves, an outdoor grill area near the pool. In the evening, this becomes a pizza restaurant. They also serve a quick breakfast here, and at lunch, there is the typical grill items like hamburgers, but also some upgraded choices too, like a shrimp roll, Reuben sandwich, even pork ribs. We had lunch here a few times, and the burgers were gourmet, just as advertised, and the evening pizza was really some of the best we have had. And just like the Terrace Cafe, all the tables were set, and they have wait staff to bring you your drinks. Speaking of the pool, we were really impressed by the size, the layout, and definitely by the loungers. Every lounger had a thick pad and a terry towel cover. There were singles and doubles, some in the shade, and plenty in the sun for sunning. There were also small tables to go between the chairs for your drink or your book. The space was so wonderfully uncrowded compared to pool decks on bigger ships. Also at this end of the pool deck, you'll find the Waves ice cream station with hand-dipped ice cream, shakes, smoothies, and sorbets. All right, let's head down to the other end of the pool deck where there is an outdoor smoking area, as well as the Waves bar in the center. Just off the pool deck is the fitness center, which I admittedly had not seen until we did this tour. There's a space for classes or mat workouts at the front of the room and plenty of weight machines, elliptical, treadmills, and bikes as you walk forward. There's even another one of those thoughtfully placed water stations. The salon has everything you need for a relaxing day of getting your hair or your nails done, including some beautiful sweeping ocean views. At the far end of the salon is the Aquamar Spa Terrace, which is only accessible for suite guests or those who've purchased a pass. We only got a quick look at the spa, but there is one thing I definitely want to point out. The changing areas have steam rooms, and they're available to all guests at no additional charge. So even if you're not booking a spa treatment, you can still take advantage of the steam rooms. Our last stop on Deck 9 is the card room and the Oceania at Sea computer area. The card room has 6 game tables for hosted bridge events, but also passengers can set up their own card or board games. Next door is the computer room, where guests can use desktop computers, print things like travel documents, and get tech support. Moving on to Deck 10, we are all the way forward in Horizons, which is really a multi-purpose lounge. When you first walk in, there's a coffee and pastry station. This was a surprisingly quiet area when we were here, and there was never a line. And really, the whole lounge was just such a peaceful place in the morning. Across from that is a collection of game tables, along with puzzles that are left out for guests to work on. You can just sit down and add a few pieces whenever you feel like it. The bar here is staffed whenever there's an event, and there's a small bandstand which is used for different types of entertainment. The string quartet plays here during afternoon tea, and some evenings there's a dance band. But honestly, it was the view that kept us coming back in the mornings. We could grab a latte, sit right here in front of the ship, and watch us pull into port. It was a really lovely way to start the day. There's also plenty of game equipment for hosted events, although I'm pretty sure nothing's stopping you from starting your own game of Connect 4. If you're a fan of traditional cruise experiences, complimentary afternoon tea is served here every day. And finally, tucked away in this far corner is the enclosed smoking area. Heading outside midship on Deck 10 is the walking track. It's not very big. It'll take you 13 laps around to make a mile. Now let's head inside for the aft section of Deck 10. This is where you'll find the 2 complimentary specialty restaurants and the library. The library faces the walking track and has entrances on both sides of the ship. There were people wanting a quiet area to read while we were filming, so we didn't go inside. On one side, you'll find the Polo Grill, which is the steakhouse. And on the other side, you'll find Toscana, which is their Italian restaurant. Now let's head down to the other end of Deck 10, where we will find the stairs to access the sports deck, Deck 11. And finally, we're at the top of the ship on the sports deck. While you won't find a basketball or a tennis court up here, there are several other ways to get a little friendly competition going, including cornhole, putt-putt, and shuffleboard. One thing we really liked is that all of the equipment you need is right here at each game. There's no going to a desk on another deck, handing over your cruise card and checking out a bag of bean bags or a putter and a golf ball. You can just show up and play. They also had organized games and competitions up here throughout the cruise where you could earn Big O points. Those points can be traded in for Oceania merchandise at the end of your cruise. This is something Doug took very seriously because this is where he earned almost all of his Big O's in one afternoon. We also discovered when we got here to Deck 11 why our complimentary basic Wi-Fi worked so great on this ship. Look at all those dishes.
I hope you enjoyed this tour and found it helpful. If you're here because you have a cruise booked on the Nautica, let us know in the comments. When are you sailing? Where are you sailing? If you're not booked on the Nautica yet, but you're thinking, this looks like a fantastic ship, I want to go on there. Contact us. We are Brilliant Travelers. We are part of the Cruise Planners Network. So that is one of the largest, most well-connected networks in the country. We have got some absolutely incredible pricing on Oceania Cruises. So reach out to us if you're interested in sailing. While we thought this ship was absolutely beautiful and we really enjoyed our cruise, it is going to be our last one on the Nautica. This is that news I promised you in the beginning of the video. The big news is that she is going into dry dock at the end. I think it's going to be November 2027, and she's going in for renovation. But this isn't going to be a renovation where they just kind of change some of the carpeting and furniture and things like that. They're going to absolutely redo the interior from top to bottom. Right now she has 349 cabins. When they're finished, she's only going to have 179. So they're actually making fewer cabins, and more of those cabins are going to be suites. So they're going to have more suite cabins, and they're actually going to have fewer ocean view and interior cabins. When the dry dock is completed, she will be renamed and will be the Oceania Aurelia. So that's another reason we won't be going on the Nautica again. We might go on the Aurelia. I'm not sure. This is all part of Oceania's Oceania Next program. They're updating their ships. They're adding more new build ships as well as some of their ships are going to be leaving the fleet. So they're making some big changes. Once the ship is the Aurelia, the main itinerary it's going to be doing is going to be world cruises. So those suites are going to be really important for people that are going to be sailing on these world cruises for months and months. Which brings up the question, what do you think of a world cruise? I always ask people this because I think they're fascinating. We have not done one, don't have it on the agenda right now, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would think that was just too much time at sea. Or is it just like the best way to see the world where you're only going to unpack once and get to see the entire world? So I haven't completely decided. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think a world cruise is something you're interested in, or if you're like, no, that is just not for me. I do hope you enjoyed this tour. If you did, check out our other content. We have a lot out there right now on Oceania from our recent sailing. We've also got some on other small ship sailing. We mainly do smaller ships. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.